We decided to elevate our driveway entrance. We picked a spot on either side of the driveway and started digging a hole using both a shovel and some post hole diggers. We then added a wooden post to the hole we just dug. I held the wooden post in place in the hole after we got it nice and leveled, and then we slowly started packing in the dirt that we previously removed. You don't want to fill the hole completely with dirt. Leave some room for some quick setting concrete on top. This will definitely secure the wooden post and make sure it stays in place. Then, using a watering can, we poured water on top to set it. We decided to stain them a darker color, and then we attached some ornamental hooks on the front of the post. This elevates our driveway entrance so much and gives us some instant curb appeal. Another little extra piece we decided to add to the pole planters was a solar operated light on top. We drilled that in on the very top of the post, and at night it gives off a flame that appears to be flickering, which is a very nice touch. So both day and night, our driveway has a beautiful entrance thanks to these easy do-it-yourself pole planters.
I have this area in the front of my house that I want to beautify, so I grabbed a bowl from the Dollar Tree and put it over to make sure it fits. Then I went to Home Depot and grabbed some spray foam. Next, what I'm going to do is put the bowl down on a garbage bag, and I'm going to grab the spray foam and start covering all the bowl up. And we're going to go layer over layer. Now, this took about 3 cans, but I want to make sure before I put the next layer on, that's a little bit dry to the touch. Once you get it on, you want to give it about 24 hours. The next step is we got to carve the foam. Now you're going to shape this all over. Next step, I'm going to pour some water into a bucket. I'm using Cemental. What we're going to do is mix it. You want to be able to shape it and use it almost like a clay on top of the foam. Go ahead and just start adding it to the foam and just keep smoothing it on. For the second layer, I made it a little more runny. Just go ahead and smooth it in. If it looks a little rough, you can grab a chip brush, dip it in some water, and then you can start smoothing out the concrete that you put on. Now let it dry, and then I took some black paint, watered it down, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to the rock. So I'm going to add some brown to it also. You can go with any color you want. It's time to place it in the yard. Now I'm ready to cover up the pipe that I want to have hidden, and it's time to go ahead and add some ground cover. And look at that. What a beauty. So I'm going to start scraping all the grass out of the area, kind of level it up, and then I'm going to grab some high strength concrete mix. Go ahead and get some water, pour it in. Now this concrete mix is going to be a little soupier than normal, so just keep mixing. Add water as you need. I want it to slide right off the tool. Now, grab a quart bag, Ziploc if you can, and we're going to start filling these up. No more than 3/4. What you're going to need to do is make sure that you get all of the air out. Now, find that area and start placing those bags, and then start shaking it. It's going to expand as the concrete settles. Smooth it out, and then place the next one next to it. Part of this, I've got a surprise for you. I took some rocks that glow during the night. I'm going to cut a top part of the bag out, peel it away, and I'm going to take those little pebbles and put them in there. Once these are in and the bags have dried overnight, start cutting the plastic and you're going to peel it away. Take some sand and place it all in between the cracks. Now you can just dump it out. I like to spread it a little evenly just to make sure I fill it really good. Once you got it on there, go ahead and start brooming it off. It's going to fill the cracks, and there it is. Our antique, rustic, cobblestone looking path. And do you remember those glowing pebbles? Here it is at night leading the path. They are so nice.
I grabbed 2 flower pots of different sizes from Dollar Tree. I used 150 grit sandpaper to lightly scuff up the surface. Then I applied silicone to a plastic lid and attached it to the bottom of the smaller pot. I siliconed all the way around the lid edge to create a waterproof seal. While it was drying, I grabbed some Rust-Oleum stone textured spray paint. I spray painted the outside of both pots and around the inside edge and let it dry overnight. After the spray paint dried, I mixed ready-mix concrete in a separate bucket following the directions on the bag. I carefully placed the wet concrete in the larger bucket. I placed a large rock in the middle to help take up space. The concrete filled the bucket about 1/3 full. I used a scrap piece of 2x4 to tamper down the concrete to get rid of any bubbles and smooth it all out. After the concrete dried, I placed a plastic container in the middle so the smaller pot would sit higher up. I grabbed some garden bed pots from the recycling and used them to fill out the space and added river rock to cover the recycling. I washed another handful of river rock, placed them inside the small pot, and filled it with water. Lastly, I added this solar fountain, and it was a sunny day, so it started working immediately. No batteries required. I hope this inspired you to create your own DIY fountain and patio of your dreams.
We'll start by giving this old fence a quick sanding and then brush the dust off, and we'll be ready for stenciling. Got a dense foam roller. Offload the roller so there won't be too much paint. When you're stenciling, try to use a nice even pressure. And now you can remove the stencil, randomly place your next stencil, and just continue. Okay, I've got the stem stencil placed. So now we're going to use the leaf stencil. I pre-placed my stencils to knock it right out. What do you think of this project? It turned out great, and it's an easy one for first-time stencilers.
Okay, so first stage of this is for me to get this fence completely painted. I have got these melamine plastic plates I just picked up at the dollar store. I've also got a couple of these larger silver coloured plates. That's isopropyl alcohol. I've just cleaned the plate with that. I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol here. I'm just going to squirt it onto the plate, and then I've got these really lovely, I'm going to drop a little bit on here. I'm just going to move this around a bit to start with. Alcohol on there. There we go. Here we go. A little bit more of that. You can use a hairdryer or a heat gun. I'm just going to go around and round in circles and just see if we can get some nice kind of edges. Okay, now because this is alcohol ink, I'm actually going to seal it with this Kmart varnish. The second version that I'm going to do on these little plates is I'm actually going to use these stick and style stencils. This I've already coated with a second coat of paint. Okay, let's take this stencil off and see how it looks. Our third technique that we're going to create on these plates is going to be, we're going to go full Jackson Pollock. Next up, we're going to use this silver bullet, exactly the same. We can do that on one of our smaller plates. So let's see what it looks like now that I've hung them all up.